The thought of being in purgatory, you're not on earth, you're not in heaven, you're just somewhere in between. You're in nothingness. Everybody has seen it when you're holding the trophy up, or when everything's all good. You never see the low parts. You're your true self in your lowest moments. What would you do if you couldn't do what you love? Looking back on it, I can think of a bunch of circumstances that kind of were red flags. It kind of started actually when we were on the West Coast on a trip. I kind of had some mild soreness, but I didn't pay any attention to it. What I thought were muscle spasm episodes in my ribs, the pain became so intense, I knew something was wrong. I got a CT scan at the hospital. I called my wife and let her know what was going on.
He was like, you need to come down here. Like, I need to figure, I don't know what's going on, but you need to come down here.
They informed me that my oxygen levels were dangerously low, and then I had to wear the oxygen tube, and they just kind of tried to put it in my nose. And, I felt like a patient, and I've never felt like a patient in a hospital. Them putting that in there, I kind of leaned back and was like, what are you doing? Like, no, you need this.
The second that I heard that, and it might be a pulmonary embolism, I Googled it. And the top thing that popped up was an NBA player that had just passed away. I was just like, what is going on?
That's when they told me that the next 24 hours would be critical. And to kind of hear that, you don't know how to take it. You just, life gets shortened into smaller bites. They prepped me, put me under, and I woke up and I had two tubes coming out of my ribs into a drainage. The doctors would come in and tug on it like once a day. You just kind of think like, man, is this gonna be my life? Is this what it has come to?
I'm looking at my husband, who is a world-class athlete. He's not this invincible being. Like, I think that was really kind of eye-opening for me and eye-opening for our children. They've never seen my husband in any type of pain. They've never seen my husband not be super dad.
I wasn't even thinking about basketball at that time. I was happy to be alive. I was happy just to have the smallest things. I thought the recovery process was gonna be a lot easier. I thought I was gonna go right back to normal, but I still had holes in my ribs. I just remember just being in so much pain. Eventually, I began to recoup, start getting my strength back.
The cut from Bosh, he lays it in.
When I had that first game, it was just this solidification in my mind that, okay, yeah, I can play. I instantly got plugged right back in, thinking about how we can compete for a championship. Right before the All-Star break, I probably sensed something was wrong on the Thursday we were going to fly up, because I woke up with a sore calf. That's when I got a little worried, a little nervous. I immediately went to the hospital to get it checked out, and that's when they eventually told me that I had a small clot in my leg and they had to do further testing. And then from that point on, I was going back and forth to the hospital, getting blood taken, and then eventually I did a CT scan and clots were found again. My initial thoughts from it were just like, first of all, you have to be kidding. Secondly, this isn't real, and it's no question about it. I know it's really happening. She just said what I thought she said, and this doctor's telling me what I think he's telling me.
Chris Bosh is not going to play again this year. His season is over.
Seeing the team doctors, they told me that my season's over, my career is probably over, and yeah, this just happens. This is just how it is. I felt right away that I was written off. It was just, put it to the side and matter-of-factly. If a doctor tells me, hey, that's it and this is how it is, and I don't buy that, I think that I have the right to disagree with you. I know inside me I have a lot of talent and a lot of ability, and I have it. I know I have it. It wasn't a matter of if I'm going to play again, it's when. So we took the bull by the horns.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Either in a really bad situation.
I know they are.
Our doctors are telling us it's a bad idea, and Chris's doctor said, no, you're good to go.
And they can't trade him. He's untradeable. Only way this is nice and clean is if Chris Bosh retires.
He said he's going to play in the NBA no matter what.
I don't know a scenario where the Heat can prevent Chris Bosh from playing basketball.
Sometimes you just have to be broken down to rebuild yourself and come back better than ever.
Yep. Stay down.
We began to do our own research. We began to find articles. We began to find papers. We began to find other doctors who not only were forward-thinking, but were specialists who could help and have dealt with athletes before. So we decided to get smarter and just really hit the ground and just dig out as many clues as possible, and we were able to find a few gems. The doctors that I work with, is more so just a matter of procedure. We have the formula. They take the blood, they study it on blood thinners, off blood thinners, and they get all the data possible to put their formula into it and customize it for me. It's not like I'm the first guy ever to do this. This is no experimental drug. This is a drug that people are very familiar with, and numerous amounts of athletes have done this before me, which some have been playing for years. So it wasn't a matter of if I'm going to play again, it's when.
If I felt that my husband's life and health was at risk, we're a family of 5 children. I wouldn't have been in agreement with my husband going on to a court if I didn't feel that it was okay or felt that he was safe. And there's nobody more concerned about our family's well-being and leading our family and being here for me and being here for our kids than him.
I'm in the gym every day. I'm taking care of my body every day. That gives me the confidence to know that I can go out there and do my job. I'm one of the best players in the league, and whether I've been in the hospital or been in different situations, it doesn't matter. I can still play the game. I've done what I need to do. I've educated myself enough to know that sometimes you just have to take things into your own hands. And that's one of the messages that I would implore all the young guys, especially in sports out there, is that you can take control of your own situation. If you feel that you need to put yourself in the best position possible to succeed, whatever that means, you need to make certain moves to do it, you can do it. So, if I don't get cleared, that's what I'll do. One of the main questions that I've asked myself over and over, particularly because of the situation I'm in, is what would you do if you couldn't do what you love? I go to these other creative outlets and I'm a beginner. I'm a child. I have the mind of a child in these other things, and I'm not very good. But the thing I have a master's level at, I can't do. When that got taken from me, it was a challenging question that I asked myself, like, well, who am I? does basketball define me totally? And the answer is no, it does not. But I'm a basketball player. I was made to play basketball. So that's just something that has really just been a huge challenge for me, and having that feeling of being in something, I guess, like purgatory. What I mean by that is that the thought of being in purgatory is you're somewhere in the middle. You're not on earth, you're not in heaven, you're just somewhere in between, and that's the part that drives you crazy because you're in nothingness. And that's kind of how I felt for months about this whole thing, because I've just been sitting, I've been waiting. It's like I'm not a basketball player, but I am a basketball player.
Green, blocked by Bosh. Game over.
I look back in that time and I would describe it as epic. It's only one way to describe it. And I thought it was gonna keep going. We had Bron, we had D. I realize how special it is now, or it was now, because back then, I mean, we ate together, we practiced together, we played together, we did everything together, you know, all the time. Those are the things that go deeper than basketball. And so to have that and actually win, we don't have it anymore. I'm just, I'm tripping, because it was just a few years, not even a few, 2 years ago, like I said, we were competing for a championship. Everybody's gone, but we're always good friends. I mean, I'm just happy we had it. Now I look at my friends, I watch Dwayne playing amazing basketball because I'm on the bench every night. I watch LeBron continue his slaughter of the NBA. It hurts me because I know that I can do the same thing, and I'm still hoping to have my moment, just to prove myself as a basketball player. I've known Bron since I was 17. I've known D since we got drafted when I was 19, and I want to compete against those guys. That's what I live for, to be like, okay, what am I made of? I feel right now that I can still play at that level. I know people kind of question if I'm going to be able to produce like I did. I think I'll be able to produce more. I put in all the work, so let's see where we're at. Got the news, was in disbelief for a couple seconds, and then I threw my phone down and stormed out the room. And I actually went on the dock and sat down for like a couple hours. And that was really it. My wife came out later, and we just kind of talked. I can't even remember what we talked about. But yeah, I'm glad I didn't break my phone. I wanted to break it, but I didn't.
Eric had Riley just addressed the Chris Bosh issue, saying he does not expect Chris back with the Miami Heat. How are you moving forward over Pat's statement?
This business is tough, the personal relationships, and everybody knows how much CB means to me and his family.
"13 straight years. I've been doing media day. I mean, the same thing you've been doing for 13 years has changed. So I know it kind of sucks a little bit, but this is my reality. You can either make it a good thing or a bad thing. You can either complain or you can just keep moving on, and I just decided to keep moving on." Hey, kiddo.
There's a somewhat new development, and I didn't know if you wanted to figure out what it is. Pat Riley, I guess, did an interview today about your future with Miami Heat, and literally said he's not working in your return in any capacity with the Miami Heat.
Okay.
At all.
He's not working to return?
Your return with the
Okay.
Miami at all. Like, you're done in Miami.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
for him to just like,
That's up to him. I guess in the media today, Pat said that my career with the Heat is probably over. And, you know, can't really do anything about that. But I didn't see my career in Miami ending like this. I didn't get a call or a text or anything like that. I mean, it's a business, we understand that. We always say those things. But if you say certain things to a person and you win championships and you have these moments, you don't want to find things out through the media. It's kind of tough, man. We say all these things, you know, the commitment, brotherhood, and all these things, and then for whatever reason you find out, or I find out, like this. So, you know, it hurts. You think when you're done playing, this is how it's gonna go. You ride off into the sunset, everything's all good. You know, blow kisses and, you know, maybe a couple tears are shed and everything, and you just, you know, the people just send you off, and that's not so much the case with me. So, you know, I guess my career in Miami's done. My career is not done, but I did not expect that at all. And I feel like it's just some higher power telling me, like, it's not right now. Because if you look at the way things are going with the organization and everything, maybe just right now isn't your time to play basketball. And that's kind of how I took it. And so I hear the message loud and clear. And I'm just trying to work through it as best as I can. I want to tell Miami, everybody in Miami, this is not how I planned it to be. They don't want to hear Dwayne's gone. They don't want to hear, oh yeah, he's never going to play, Chris is never going to play for the Miami Heat again. People don't want to hear that. I just feel for the fans. I wanted to give them more. I wanted to give them something better than, because they deserve better than what they're getting right now. That does not mean my NBA career is over. There's 29 other teams, it's a whole league. You know, one team does not make up the opinion of everything.
Bosh has failed his physical, meaning the Miami Heat will not clear him for training camp next week.
Chris Bosh was on track to be a Hall of Fame basketball player.
Riley came out and said that they were not working towards a solution anymore with Chris Bosh and that his career was probably over. So will Chris Bosh accept it? I don't really expect that. Bosh remains in limbo for now, but I don't believe he's done fighting.
My knee-jerk reaction to finding things out through the media is you get pissed off. You're mad, you're upset, confused, and all that stuff, because no matter what, I'm gonna try to play basketball. That's just what I've been placed here to do.
4. Perfect.
I've said you always have to fight for the things you really want to do and the things that you love. So when does that stop? When we first started this whole process with the filming of this, I had total confidence that it was just going to be routine, and I'll get my checkup and I'll do my physical, and then we'll just keep going, and I'll be in camp, which actually started today. But unfortunately, I guess with the news that I found out yesterday, it won't be in Miami. I was just trying my best to kind of really just weather the storm, whatever this storm is, and really just figure things out. I'm just as confused as anybody else. You know, I've been playing basketball my whole life, and I feel that I have so much more to give. What I would say to the people who, just see the money and then kind of see my situation and say, hey, just walk away. I get it. I totally get it. I understand you. I hear you. But I'm not really thinking about money. I'm just thinking about where my heart is. It's just about, I love the NBA. I love playing basketball every day for a living. So yeah, I hear you. It's right there. And that's kind of been the part that makes me confused, is because it's just right there. All I have to do is walk away. Like, think about that more so. All I have to do is just leave. And you'll never hear from me again. I'll probably just do other things and I'll be fine. And that makes it confusing because I know where my heart is. And I just would feel like I'm giving up if I just walked away, just easily like that. You get me? Oh. I know how many kids I have. I know the love for the children, my children that I have, and my wife that I have. I don't want to let them down or disappoint them. But I also want my children to know that Daddy was a fighter and he just didn't give up very easily. It's a kind of a thing where it's like, am I on the wrong path? Am I on the right path? Am I on the wrong path because it's hard, or am I on the right path because it's hard? These are very tough questions to ask yourself, really. And until somebody's been in my shoes, you could never understand. Some people have, some people have not, but it's kind of just, I don't know, it's confusing. It's really, really confusing, man. I mean, because this is my livelihood and my career we're talking about. I've been in so many situations, especially in games, where everybody thought it was over, and that's it. But that's our mentality as athletes, and really as winners and as competitors and people, is to defy the odds.
Bosh for 3 in the win! Yes! He did it!
I don't want people to just give up. We're gonna go everywhere. We're gonna do everything that it takes to get back out there. And if people can't understand that, you don't understand being a winner. People sometimes tell you that dreams are impossible. It's either you follow your dreams and continue to go, or you do not. I just choose to follow my dreams.